What's up guys, Readiness Reviews here with you again. We're doing another military surplus firearms unboxing for this video. And this is a long boy. It's hanging off the end of the desk. I picked this up from the infamous Royal Tiger Imports. In a previous video, I talked about an M38 Carcano that I bought from them, in which they gave me $150 of in-store credit towards another purchase. I used that money on this particular purchase, and this might end up being the last firearm I ever buy from them, I just don't know. Of course, this is coming out of Royal Tiger Imports Ethiopian Horde. From the time I purchased this rifle until its delivery was well in excess of a month. It was about a month and a half actually, so they definitely took their time getting this one to me. I'm certainly ready to cut it open. So today we're going to be opening that with the bayonet. If you know what kind of the bayonet this is, of course, let me know down in the comments. This bayonet actually has a slight edge on it. RTI still using their new style packaging, which is definitely an upgrade over the old style. The rifle is wrapped in bubble wrap. Slide this out. It has a very interesting smell, oddly enough. It smells like an old musty basement or just some old water damaged house. Man, I hope this one isn't completely trashed. This is a MLE 1886 French LEBEL rifle, and actually, externally at least, looks really nice. Let's make sure we're unloaded here. Uh-oh, that inside does not match the outside. But the lifter lifts up. That's a good sign. It is rusty down in there, guys. But the outside of this rifle is looking quite handsome, actually. Now, these rifles are some of the most expensive on Royal Tiger Imports website. I was very hesitant to make this purchase because this is such an expensive rifle. But since I had that store credit to play with, it got the price down a little bit. And I figured I'd give them one more shot and roll the dice on one of their more expensive offerings. The LEBEL was, of course, the main infantry arm of the French military in World War I. They also saw some use up to and through World War II. World War I was really the war that this rifle saw its heyday. The LEBEL is officially the first smokeless powder rifle in the world, debuting in 1886, which was really a huge paradigm shift. After that point, every other military in the world started scrambling to throw together their own smokeless rifle because smokeless ammunition is so far superior to black powder, both ballistically and functionally. I purchased this as a non-matching example. They have both matching and non-matching on their website, as well as A and B grade rifles. This is a B grade rifle, non-matching. So let's check that serial number on the bolt there. 821. On the barrel, 891. The serial number on the magazine foreplate does match the barrel at least, 891. So the bolt doesn't match, but other than that, we're looking pretty good. Our magazine cutoff latch does seem to work properly, although it's a bit stiff. This rifle certainly needs cleaning. Like I said, the inside is extremely dirty. I don't know what this plastic wrap around the wrist here is, but we're gonna go ahead and remove this. Now the metal condition, far better than I was expecting. The stock doesn't seem to have any major cracks or anything. Seems to be fairly solid. There is a small crack in the handguard as it butts up to the receiver there, but that doesn't look all that bad. And there is another crack next to the trigger guard on the buttstock. That looks like a piece of wood that is pretty much broken through, so that wouldn't be that hard to go ahead and break that off and glass it back on, so it would be nice and strong. Externally, I'm definitely satisfied with this rifle, I must say. I got what I paid for, in my opinion. Before I go and recommend this rifle though, we need to have a look at that bore. Upon first glance, the bore is concerning because it is so extremely dark. I will be posting video footage of the bore both before and after cleaning. It was looking like towards the muzzle end, the rifling is pretty worn. And of course, the muzzle of the rifle is the most important part of the bore for shooting accurately. So I have an 8mm LEBEL cartridge here, and we'll do a quick muzzle test with the round to see how it's looking. Check that out. It actually stops on the bullet and doesn't make it to the brass. And even though this bore is dark, like I said, it does have visible rifling. The muzzle isn't completely gone, as we can see. So I actually expect this rifle to at the very least be a shooter. I know these rifles are coming from Africa. I know they have been through a lot. I know they have been stored in very adverse conditions for a very long time. I know that this particular rifle was made in 1890. So at this point, we're looking at a rifle that's 130 years old. I expect the condition to not be pristine, but at the very least, I want a shootable bore because I like to shoot my rifles. Now, I just took a quick break to clean the bore up a little bit so we can get a better idea of what we're working with bore condition wise. I have some good news and I have some really troubling news as well. And my excitement has definitely dropped down some for this rifle since cleaning the bore. It cleaned up really nice, and that's the good part. It looks a lot better than I thought it would. Of course, it's dark and it's pitted, but the rifling looks really good. But after cleaning, I decided to do another muzzle test. To my disappointment, it now eats the round all the way. I guess there was so much fouling in the bore that it was stopping this prematurely, and now that that's all cleaned out, it is now eating the projectile in a way that it should not. Given the condition of the rest of the bore, this might still shoot fairly decent. I won't know until we get it out to the range to know for certain. This rifle may be a candidate for counterboring in the future. Now, I'm sure that would be quite expensive and add a lot of cost to an already expensive rifle. But judging by how the rifling looks in the rest of the bore, if it was counterbored, it would probably shoot pretty good. Usually I like to insert some shooting footage into these videos, but this rifle needs some pretty serious work before I'm comfortable taking it to the range. I want to get the couple little minor cracks in the stock repaired for sure. And as we can clearly see, the inside of this thing is super dirty and needs to be extensively cleaned. So I'm going to go ahead and put this video out before cleaning the rifle, and we will come back to this rifle in the future with some updated footage of how it looks after cleaning, and we'll take it to the range and see if we can actually get anything on paper or whether we're keyholing or not. The only serious external damage that I saw, and it's not even anything that's functional, is our sling loop back here. It is all bent and twisted and actually broken off, but that's no huge loss in my opinion. Probably a hard part to source. You don't really see LEBEL parts around, so if anything internally on this rifle is broken, any of the fire control stuff, anything to do with the magazine, if any of that's not working as it should be, those parts can be very hard to get your hands on. So hopefully all that is in one piece. On the right side of a LEBEL buttstock, there would have originally been a roundel stamp in the wood showing when the rifle was accepted into French service. This one appears to be worn down to the point where that roundel is no longer visible, but maybe after we clean the wood up a little bit and get some of this grime away, a little bit of that will pop out, but I'm not seeing anything in the current condition. On the left side of the stock, they stamped the serial number. We can see that here. It's extremely faint. It does appear to start with 891. That would mean that the stock, at least, is matching to both the barrel and the action floor plate. The French really didn't put that many important markings on the receiver. This one was made by Manufacture d'Armes Saint-Antoine, and of course that is a MLE 1886 with a M93 update. Almost all 1886 LEBELs were updated to the M93 pattern, which changed a few little things with the original design, making it an overall better rifle. Most of the important information for LEBEL will be found on the barrel. So we can see that we have an N prefix here, indicating that it is in the N block of serial numbers. That JH indicates who supplied the steel for the barrel, and that R and that F stamp are little proof stamps from inspectors. Our rear sight on the LEBEL is zeroed at 400 meters in the laid down position. In the folded forward position, which is the actual battle sight, this little notch right here will be 250 meters. So this is normally the position that you would shoot the rifle in. And then for really long range shooting, you can raise the ladder up and use your little slider to adjust it up and down. One of the little defects that I can see with this Royal Tiger Imports rifle is that I believe this rear sight is bent ever so slightly. There's a little gap. It's not actually riding down in the 400 meter section there. The left side of the sight here is sitting a little higher than the right side is, which is actually making contact with the metal there. It's twisted ever so slightly up and to the left. We can see that same sort of thing going on when we fold it forward. It's quite difficult to show on camera, but there is a distinct difference between the way the right side is meeting the metal and the left side is meeting the metal. The left side is popped up just a little bit. The slider for the rear sight is completely locked up. It is visibly orange with rust. I'm going to put some coil on that and hopefully we'll be able to free that up a little bit and it'll be able to move. But for right now, I can't budget a single millimeter. So now the big question is, would I recommend picking up a LEBEL from Royal Tiger Imports knowing what I know currently? Well, the whole reason I decided to order this rifle in the first place, besides just wanting a LEBEL for a long time, is I saw the video of another YouTuber, USNA. He had the first video that I've seen on YouTube of someone unboxing a LEBEL from RTI. I think the sticker price on this scares a lot of people away, especially knowing the reputation of what kind of firearms that you might get from Royal Tiger. He was very happy with his rifle. Like mine, the external condition was fairly nice. His bore seemed to be a little bit more promising than this one. He was happy with what he received. Since I was already thinking about throwing down the cash on one of these rifles, his video really pushed me over the edge and said, we'll go ahead and do it and roll the dice. Would I recommend anyone else do it though? It's hard to say. Like any firearm from RTI, they're very hit and miss. It seems that the external condition of these LEBELs is definitely at the very least serviceable. LEBEL rifles are very expensive rifles, not only on RTI, but across the board. So you're not really gonna find a LEBEL for any cheaper than Royal Tiger Imports is selling them for, but you might find a much nicer LEBEL somewhere else. And that's probably what I would recommend. If you really want a LEBEL rifle and you're completely prepared to spend $1,000, which is what these rifles are on RTI, I think you're probably better served to wait it out, play the slow game, watch Gun Broker, go around to local shops, gun shows, and try to find a secondary market LEBEL, which will probably be in much better condition for about the same price. That's just being completely honest. Now, am I happy with what I received for the money I put into this? You have to keep in mind that I had a $150 credit that I utilized in this rifle, and so I ended up getting this rifle for $850. Of course, that $150 was money I'd already given to Royal Tiger Imports on a previous purchase, so in reality, it still cost me $1,000, which is always a painful amount of money to fork over. I'm pretty happy with what I received. I think I could resell it for at least what I have in it. And the fact of the matter is, LEBEL rifles are already scarce and expensive, and I only see them becoming more scarce and expensive as time moves forward. So I don't think I'll come to regret this purchase in the future, especially if it does turn out to be a decent shooter, in which case I would most certainly be extremely happy. That's pretty much the video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to help the video out with the Google algorithm. Gun channels need all the help they can get in that department. If you noticed something about this rifle that I didn't talk about, please let me know down in the comments. I end up learning something from every video I post, and I really appreciate you guys' input. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel for future videos on this rifle. I'm gonna go through the process of getting this cleaned up and restored the best I can, get the little things fixed that need fixing, and we will do a future video of LEBEL history, which we didn't really cover that much in this video, and we'll get this out of the range and see how it actually shoots. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see all my future Milsurp rifle videos. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you then. Peace.